welcome to Insight from the Torah portion, and this Parashat Shemini. We're going to talk about sacrifice and how to change mistakes, thought mistakes, so we won't feel like sacrificing ourselves, and we will feel more happy and less like better self-esteem, basically. So it's going to be a very interesting class. Stay with me. If you didn't subscribe to the channel, now it's the time. Whoever subscribe and send me a message on the email or on WhatsApp, in this description below, there's a link. Will get present. Joy cards that I made. They're in Hebrew, but a beautiful short sentence that will add joy to your life. So really recommended. So now push the subscribe button and send me a message that you did it, so I will send it to you. Parashat Shemini is in the book of Vayikra, and in the book of Vayikra it talks a lot about sacrifice. And in Hebrew, the word sacrifice, it's called korban, and korban is can mean kirva, like being close to somebody, or can mean to feel like you sacrifice of the situation, of the events that you don't have control. And the idea is in this class to learn how to get back the control to your life and don't feel like you sacrifice of the events. And we learn it by the CBT tools. We learn the names of it, how you identify those mistakes, those thought mistakes, and how to change it so you will feel better. And basically what I'm going to do is connect between the different names of the sacrifice they had in Beit HaMikdash to different kinds of mistakes that we have in our mind, thought mistakes that makes us feel like sacrifice. It works more in Hebrew, but I will explain the idea, and it's really nice and creative, so stay with me. So we'll start with a korban called shlamim, the sacrifice named shlamim, that in Hebrew, shlamim is like shalem, perfect. And people want to do everything perfect, and they feel if they don't do it perfect, it's better not to do it at all. And it's called all or nothing in the CBT language. It says, I will do everything or I will do nothing. So then basically we don't do a lot of stuff that we would want to do, because it's really hard to stand in our ideas of doing everything perfect. So then we just stop to do stuff, and it will make us less happy. So the better way to think about it is to say, I will do my best I can. And even if it won't be perfect, it's okay. I'm a human, I'm not an angel, I'm not perfect, it's okay. Second sacrifice called korban asham. Asham means guilt, that I feel guilt about stuff that other people do. And in CBT language, it's called transfer to personal lines. Like you take the responsibility for yourself. Like if your kid doesn't behave at school, you say, oh, that's my responsibility because I didn't educate them well. But basically, right, you're supposed to educate your kid, but he still has choice how to behave. So you can take control about what other people do and feel guilty about it. The third way to think wrong, it's called in Hebrew korban chova, and in English it's chova means required. It's stuff that I feel that I require to do. It's very it's very hard. Like you say, I must do this thing, and a better way to think about it will be, okay, I prefer to do this thing, or it's better if I could do that thing, but don't use the word must or need or required. You need to use a more flexible term that because using the word I must makes you feel uncomfortable if you didn't do it. Like if I say, oh, if I'm a good mother, I must help the kid in any situation. And then comes a situation you can't help the kid because you were too busy, you weren't at home, you couldn't get there. So then you feel guilty. You might feel frustrated and unhappy. So instead of thinking in ways of I must, think in the way I will prefer to help my kid if I can. And then if you couldn't, you say, okay, fine, I couldn't, but I would love to do it in principle. Okay, so already it will make change in the way you feel if you change the way you think about it. You get it, what I'm saying? Okay, the next one is korban chatat. It's the sin sacrifice. And it's seeing everything in a negative way. Everything is like a sin. I did it wrong. Like I can think, it doesn't matter what I will do, I will always make a mistake. Like it doesn't matter how bad I try, always my husband won't be happy with it, or my wife won't be happy with it. So then I look negatively at everything that happens, and I don't give importance to the positive stuff. And it's called in the CBT language, 1 second, a mental filter. That it means that in my head, I filter the stuff and see it only in one way. And the way to, the positive way to look at it is instead of explaining all the situation from one specific situation and say, okay, I will, it's always bad. I want to try and check the facts, and I will see, are there also good stuff that happened, or can I find something that actually was good, like something I did mistaken. Okay, the next one is called, and by the way, if any of those things are not clear, please write to me in below, and I will explain everything that's not clear. So the next one is called korban atamid. Tamid means always. It's a sacrifice that they will do in Beit HaMikdash every day, in the morning and at night. And in Hebrew, it's called korban atamid. And the mistake that I related to it is called in CBT generalization. That it means that I think about things in a general way, and like I take one specific case and I say, okay, it's always like this. And it's kind of similar to what we said before, but the way I think is basically I'm saying it always happens to me. Like the one before is like seeing everything negatively, and here I always see the stuff like it always happens. I say it always happens to me. I will never be able to succeed. Like I will never be able to pass the test. But did I pass test before? Was I able to do something well? Like instead of saying never, I need to check, is that really the facts? I can say to myself, okay, maybe this time I didn't pass the test, but maybe if I would try again, I will be successful. Okay, so we want in this case to give it another chance. Instead of saying, I will never be able to pass the test, first go to the test and try. And if it doesn't work, try it again. Okay, the next one is the sacrifice that is coming soon, and it's the sacrifice of Pesach, Passover sacrifice. And Pesach in Hebrew, it means ledaleg, like to jump of something, like to jump above something. And the idea is instead of checking the facts, I make assumptions in a wrong way. And there's 3 main ways to do it. One thing is reading other people's mind or thoughts. evaluating what will predict the future, like evaluating what will happen in the future, predict the future. And the third thing is emotional thought. And I will explain. So first of all, reading other people's minds, it means that instead of asking people to do something, I said, oh, I already know we won't agree, or I already know we will refuse, or I already know he will say this and that. Instead of actually asking somebody, I'm reading his mind, and I feel like I know what he's going to say. And obviously this thought is not based on facts. And it makes you behave in a certain way, because you say, oh, anyway, that guy won't help me. So then I might be rude to that person, and I will treat them in a like specific way that won't be nice, because I think badly about that person. And the better way will be just to ask him and see what he says, or ask him what he thinks, instead of predicting it or knowing what he's saying. The next thing is predicting the future, is like saying, oh, I know that something bad is going to happen, and then behave like it already happened. And basically you behave about something that didn't happen just because you feel that there might be something bad that will happen. So again, there's no facts. So the best way will be to check the facts and then behave according to the facts and not to your feeling. And the feeling about what will be in the future. And the third thing is about your feeling now. Like you said, oh, if I feel now worthless, it means that I'm really worthless person. Or if I say, oh, I feel like there's no hope, so that's a sign that there is really no hope. Those things I'm basing my ability to react on my emotions, but that's not a fact. The emotions are influenced by our thoughts and our beliefs. So if we change our belief and thoughts, also our emotion will change. So in people that are depressed, there are a lot of time they will see stuff in a negative way. So they can base their action according to their feeling. They need to base it on facts. And in order to do that, they need to think about that thought and see, is that thought really true? Like, if I feel there's no way to solve the problem, does that mean that there is really no way? Maybe there is a way. We're able to solve problems before. Like, try to check if the thought you're basing it on is real. And we have another two last thoughts. So one called Korban Olah, and Olah is the Korban that was going completely to God. And in English, it's or in Hebrew, Ole means like I can understand from here something, like you can this thing suggests that. That's what it means. Like Mikan Ole She, this thing suggests that. So basically, putting a label attachment to somebody, to myself or to other person. I'm saying, oh, this person, it never cares, or this person is lazy, or this person is an unhappy person. And then whatever that person does, I explain it by this label. And also I can put a label on myself and I say, oh, I'm poor, oh, I have no energy, oh, I'm a sacrifice. And then everything I do, it's explained by this attachment. And it makes me not motivated to try and change it. And also it makes the other person not motivated to try and change, because he says, oh, anyway, they feel bad things about me, so why I should change? And it basically creates a really bad atmosphere. So instead of the better way to do it is, instead of putting a tag on the other person, we want to judge him not by his actions and just by his like personality. Like we say, okay, this is the kid and this is his actions. So maybe his actions are bad. Maybe it was hard for him to get up in the morning for school, but it doesn't mean that he's a lazy kid. Just specifically, it was hard for him this morning to wake up. We can think positively about him, say, okay, maybe he went to sleep late, maybe it's hard for him in school. Like, try to understand like why he's doing it instead of like giving him a label, and also giving ourselves a label. You say, okay, maybe now I'm tired, but doesn't make me a lazy person. Okay, I can rest and then do the things later. Okay, and the last one is called Korban Musaf. And Musaf is the korban that they will give doing on Shabbatot and on holidays. And Musaf in Hebrew, it means to give more value to stuff, like Erech Musaf. And the idea is to give more values to bad things and less values to good things. So then it makes like bad thing really big and enormous, and good thing like, oh, okay, it's mistake, it just happened, it doesn't give it so much significance. So it's called empowerment and minimization in the CBT language. And basically it creates that the negative things are big, and every normal situation that is a little bit negative, it becomes like a really big deal and so bad. And I can think like, oh, I did something bad, so now my good name forever will be lost and I won't be able to fix it again. And I give so much value to the bad things. It's not proportional. So we want to give value to the positive things. That would be the better way. And also understand that the way we're looking at on the stuff influences it. So we try not to give the negative stuff so much power and energy and importance. We try to look on the situation in a more like a better way that's not making the negative so big. Okay, so if I want to summarize, there's 10 most common mistakes that we do in our thoughts. The first one is all or nothing. The second one is transfer stuff to personal lines. Like you say, everything is my guilt. The third is using the word should and forbidden. Instead of using the words might and I want and I will prefer, I very strict. I should, I must, I need. The fourth thing is mental filter, like see everything only in a negative way. The fifth thing is generalization. You say, oh, I always, I will never be able to be successful. I always fail the test. I like using those words, make it generalization about stuff. Then we talked about the Passover sacrifice, that were 3 different things that we don't check the facts. One is reading thoughts, like you say, oh, I already know what the other person will think, instead of asking them. The second thing is predicting the future. I say, oh, I'm sure something bad will happen, so for that reason I won't do some stuff. And instead of checking the facts, did something bad actually happened? And the third thing is emotional thinking. Like say, oh, because I feel bad, it means I'm a bad person, instead of checking the facts again. Okay, the 9th thing is label attach. You put a label about yourself on the other people and say, okay, this is the person, doesn't matter. And everything he does is explained by this label. But we said, instead of putting the label, we just look at the actions and look at the person separately and say, okay, he was tired, it was hard for him to wake up this morning. Doesn't make him a lazy kid. And the last thing was empowerment and minimization. We were empowering the bad stuff and giving minimum importance to the good stuff. And we want to do it the opposite, to give a lot of value to the good stuff and minimize the value of the bad stuff, and look at the situation more in like the facts way and not making a bad thing look so big. And so every time we have a bad thought, we want to check if this thought connected to one of those 10 situations, 10 mistakes, and then we will feel better because we will change it. Instead of say, oh, I must do it, I will say, okay, I want to do it, I would prefer to do it, but I'm not I'm a person, it's okay if it won't be perfect, and all the ideas I gave. And then it will change the way you actually look at the world and on yourself, and it will make you less depressed and more happy and improve your self-esteem. So let me know if you tried this change of thought and how it influenced you. Please write me in the comments below, and you can subscribe to the channel, and also there's a link in the bottom to a group that I share every week, those ideas. There's no idea every week, so you can subscribe also to that, to the WhatsApp group, and just get every time that there's a new video coming up, you will get a notification. And see you next week.